Welcome back, Rebels, to Studio G. I'm Christian Smith.
And I'm Jose Ruiz. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be covering all the latest surrounding the Astroworld Festival, along with updates on the Raiders and yet another player they had to let go this week.
We will also have local news, and we'll have a special in-studio interview with Dean Omar of the Greenspun College of Urban Affairs. So don't go anywhere.
Over the weekend, Travis Scott's Astroworld Festival took a turn for the worse.
The festival had around 50,000 people in attendance, and when Travis Scott hit the stage, the density-packed crowd surged towards the stage, crushing people against one another, causing the death of 8 people. One was as young as 14, and none over the age of 30. More than 300 people were treated at a field hospital near the festival, and one 9-year-old boy is currently in a coma fighting for his life. He is suffering major organ damage as well as brain swelling from being trampled on after falling from his dad's shoulders when his dad passed out. Travis Scott took to his Instagram Live to say these remarks.
I just want to send out prayers to the ones that was lost last night. We're actually working right now to identify the families so we can help assist them through this tough time. You know, my fans really mean the world to me, and I always just really want to leave them with a positive experience. And anytime I can make out, anything that's going on, I stop the show and, help them get the help they need, I could just never imagine the severity of the situation.
Even though Travis says he had no knowledge of what was happening around him, here is footage of concertgoers climbing on stage and attempts to stop the show.
Say with you real quick. Say let's do it.
Back in 2018, Travis Scott pled guilty to disorderly conduct after allegedly inciting a riot and endangering the welfare of a minor at one of his concerts. Travis Scott is no longer one of the headliners for the Day in Vegas festival that is happening this coming weekend and will be replaced with rapper Post Malone. Travis Scott plans on issuing full refunds to everyone who attended his festival.
One UNLV student who attended the Travis Scott concert back in 2018 is junior Tierney Holcomb. When Holcomb went to the Travis Scott concert, she left with a busted lip, a chipped tooth, bruises, cuts, and burns, and ended up with a really bad concussion. Holcomb said, quote, "I have been to a lot of concerts in my life, but I have never experienced something like that. It has been a trend for his concerts to be dangerous like that, and hearing about what happened in Texas was so sad, but not surprising." Yeah, the Travis Scott concert was very tragic.
I know. I wasn't expecting it to be that serious.
Yeah, hopefully families can get money and stuff like that. It's very sad, very sad. Last month, Superintendent Jose Jar was voted out, ending his contract early. But the Clark County School Board trustees will vote again on the future of Superintendent Jesus Jar. After a board member said she regrets her vote to terminate his contract, the board will re-meet on November 18th to redecide his fate.
The Raiders have released yet another player this week from the team. First-round draft pick Damon Arnett, after 2 lawsuits and a video of him threatening to kill someone, all while holding a gun, went viral on social media.
Former Raiders wide receiver Henry Ruggs is now facing 2 new felony charges after a loaded gun was found in his vehicle at the scene of the Fury crash last Tuesday that caused the death of a 23-year-old Tierney Teeter and her dog Russ has a hearing tomorrow, and if convicted on the DUI counts, he faces up to 40 years in prison. Yesterday, the United States reopened its borders to vaccinated international travelers after a nearly 20-month international travel ban.
All the while, in some parts of the world, like Europe, cases are soaring. The World Health Organization warns that the current COVID-19 wave in Europe could have deadly consequences for tens of thousands of people, as COVID cases break records throughout Europe as a new deadly wave engulfs the region.
Europe has registered more than a 55% rise in new COVID-19 cases in the last 4 weeks alone, with the region now home to more reported infections than Southeast Asia, the Eastern Mediterranean, Western Pacific, and Africa combined, the WHO says. The continent's largest economy, Germany, the latest country to break records for daily infections, reporting over 37,000 new cases in 24 hours. New records for daily infections were also seen in Greece, Slovakia, Croatia, and Slovenia this week, serving as a dire warning for the rest of the world.
We only have to look at the roller coaster epidemiologic curve to know that when you're coming down the mountain, you're usually about to go back up another one. And the fact that Europe is climbing that mountain again should really stand everybody up around the world and say, what are we going to do?
The biggest threat facing the region? Uneven vaccine uptake, the WHO says. Despite administering over 1 billion doses, immunization rates differ dramatically between some Western European states and their former communist bloc neighbors to the east, where the WHO says a lack of trust is fueling vaccine hesitancy. In Bulgaria, Romania, and in Ukraine, hospitalizations and deaths are surging, but the percentage of the population fully vaccinated remains stubbornly low. The World Health Organization is again calling on wealthier countries to share vaccine supplies, but some European countries are trying to vaccinate their way out of this latest surge, with Greece and Germany announcing they'll make booster shots available to their entire populations.
Booster shots after 6 months should become the norm, not the exception.
Bracing for a long winter, 23 countries in Europe and Central Asia have now tightened restrictions in the past 2 weeks. But as colder weather descends and hospital beds fill up, Europe's leaders fear tough months lie ahead. Fred Pleitgen, CNN, Berlin.
The CDC reports about 70% of U.S. adults age 18 and older are fully vaccinated against COVID-19. Since children ages 5 to 11 were just authorized to get the Pfizer vaccine, this week the CDC is doing some recalculating on the revised numbers on the percentage of eligible Americans who have received their first dose. The statistics CDC currently has for Americans aged 12 and up are about 68% that have been fully vaccinated.
I had the opportunity to attend the Great Las Vegas Taco Festival that took place this past weekend at Craig Ranch Park. Check it out. The Great Las Vegas Taco Festival is a yearly event that seeks to be the biggest taco event north of the U.S. and Mexican border.
But I know that we are the biggest taco festival in Nevada. Our goal is going to be the biggest taco festival north of the border. That's going to be our next goal, and we are going to do it. I'm not going to do it. You're going to do it. Thank you guys for making me, helping me get to this level. Thank you so much.
The event features lucha libre, the largest car show, a Chihuahua beauty contest, a taco eating competition, and dozens of taco and food vendors. The event came about as a smaller event 5 years ago. However, with each passing year, the event has gained immense traction. Last year, more than 16,000 people attended the event. This year, the record was expected to shatter. The event has become a mainstay of Las Vegas, as several thousand people attend it each year. It's become a culture event of sorts, with dozens of mariachi and Hispanic groups performing, and a large amount of the attendees being of Latin Hispanic heritage.
Jose, that seems like a lot of fun. I'm a fan of tacos, so don't forget to invite me next year.
Okay, I will. There's a lot of people though, so like you have to get there early in case you want to get some tacos.
Right.
But yeah, the Las Vegas Taco Festival has gotten so big, they plan on expanding it to the Las Vegas Event Center next year. There's also a similar but smaller taco and tamales festival happening on the 13th at Desert Breeze Park, so check it out if you can.
Congratulations to the libraries, UNLV Greenspan College of Urban Affairs, and UNLV-TV, who were all honored recently to receive the Pinnacle Award for the PRSA Las Vegas for the We Need to Talk series. UNLV Greenspan College of Urban Affairs also hosted the Southern Nevada Youth Homelessness Summit. Reporter Sydney Lowe has more.
I'm here in front of the auditorium where the Southern Nevada Youth Homelessness Summit is being held. Nevada Partnership with Homeless Youth is a service provider that offers many programs and services.
You have your family reunification, you have your transitional housing or their independent living program, they have an emergency shelter.
Along with these services being provided to the public, there are also summits held every year that touch on crucial topics.
The way that I'm seeing it is like a culmination of anything that happened in the previous summits and also anything that's happened in that year in between the summits. So last year we had a virtual summit. There were a couple different panels for that, one about COVID, one about anti-racism, and that was almost like I never want to take the summits as like just a teaching moment, but also like there needs to be an action piece with that.
Organizations such as the Nevada Partnership for Homeless Youth help many people who find themselves in hard situations.
What my first impression of them was when I myself was in a homeless situation and I didn't know where to go. I was given a list of places to call and they were the only people that answered, so I was like, I guess I'm going with you. I didn't really think anything of it when I got to their drop-in center, but their drop-in center is actually in a neighborhood. It's literally like two houses combined. And I still didn't really think anything of it, but I went in and I talked to the receptionist, and I sat down and I waited for a case manager to take me to do my intake, and I could hear somebody singing in the back, and that was my first okay, so this is that kind of place.
I'm Sydney Lum reporting for Studio G.
Welcome back. Today I am with UNLV Greenspan College of Urban Affairs Dean Robert Ulmer. Thank you for joining us today. So We Need to Talk series has been going on for several weeks now, and it's become an award-winning series. But can you describe what We Need to Talk is about?
Sure. Nice to be with you, Jose, and congratulations on a great show.
Thank you.
The We Need to Talk series is really about the divisiveness that we have in the United States and ways that we can bridge that divisiveness. And so it came out of social equity issues, it came out of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
It came out of a wide variety of social issues that the Greenspan College of Urban Affairs is passionate about developing unique solutions for. And so it really came up out of that social unrest. And Afsha Bawani and the university libraries and really the entire university community and the Las Vegas community has been incredibly supportive of this series in having real conversations about how to bridge some of the divides that we have in our community and that communities are experiencing across the country.
Okay. So you mentioned that how this series actually helped out several members of the community.
Mm-hmm.
But how does it help out students, or in generally, more specifically, how does it involve students with the panel discussions?
Right. So certainly UNLV-TV that employs students and engages students around that is in part of the production, and then students have been engaged in panels and have been having conversations about these issues with the panelists. So students are integrated and engaged in everything from kind of thinking about topics.
Mm-hmm.
Our next topic is anti-Semitism. We just did one on anti-Asian hate. And so students have been engaged in all of the kind of developing of the topics and in having discussions about ways we can bridge some of the divides that we have around some of these social issues.
Okay. And Are there ways to suggest discussion topics or for members of the community to come forward with some issues that they may have felt specifically?
Sure. So they can get in contact with me or Afsha Bawani, the Communication Director for Greenspun College Urban Affairs, and we would be happy to entertain those topics and then work with them to bring them to light. But we've had faculty, students, community members, come up with topics, propose them, and then we've delivered on those topics over the past year and a little bit.
Okay, and the next discussion panel is going to be on the November 15th, right?
That's correct.
That's correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us today. We'll be right back after this break.
Doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text to emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
First, they said cigarettes were safe. We know how that turned out. Now, they say they didn't market e-cigarettes to teens. Fact, more than 1 in 4 high school students are vaping, and 80% say their first e-cigarette was flavored. Vaping is harmful to developing brains. The reason we think vaping is safe? Marketing. Same lies, different day. Tell Big Vape to quit lying.
Welcome back to Studio G. Today I have the weather for you. So Tuesday, we're at about 79. Wednesday, we have 77. And Thursday is about 79, with Friday being 81. And Saturday, 81 as well. I feel like this is great weather at UNLV because we have to commute everywhere. So this weather right here is perfect for commuting, walking everywhere around campus. Still stay hydrated. And also today, we're at about 74, which is partly cloudy, which is what I noticed today as I was getting here, headed to the studio, that it was actually really windy and cloudy. So expect maybe even rain showers, possibly. But thank you. That's all we have for the weather. We'll toss it back to Jose.
Vegas Golden Knights lost on Sunday against the Detroit Red Wings 5-2 in Detroit. They play today at 7 p.m. against the Seattle Kraken at T-Mobile Arena. Captain Mark Stone and Zach Whitecloud is expected to still be out of tonight's game, but should be returning soon. Other players who are still out on injury are William Karlsson, Max Pacioretty, and new addition to the team, Jack Eichel.
Rich Bisaccia experienced his first loss as head coach for the Raiders this past Sunday when they went against the New York Giants in New York. The final score was 16-23. Their next game is this Sunday at the Allegiant Stadium against the Kansas City Chiefs at 5:20 p.m.
Our UNLV football team has finally won their first game under coach Marcus Arroyo. They played New Mexico this past Saturday with a final score of 31-17. This is their first win of the season and now has a record of 1 win and 8 losses. Their next game is this Saturday against the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors at 1 p.m. at Allegiant Stadium. Let's hope they can bring home another win.
Our Lady Rebels play today in Tulsa, Oklahoma against Oral Roberts University at 5 p.m. They won their exhibition game last week against California State Los Angeles 106-45. So root for our Lady Rebels for another win. Our men's basketball team plays their first game of the season tomorrow at Thomas & Mack Center against Gardner-Webb University at 7 p.m. So go get your tickets so we can cheer on our running Rebels. Yeah, that game is going to be very exciting. I hope this is a great season for UNLV basketball.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope they actually have some good success. And Gardner-Webb is a good school. I mean, it's not really a very competitive team, but I feel like UNLV will do good against them and have a good positive.
And that's what I heard. I heard that today, on the news, that UNLV basketball is going to have a new cast. We have new players, and hopefully our coach that we have can fit in the roles of the players that we have, and we can start winning some games.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot of potential.
Right.
Well, that's our show. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Jose Ruiz.
And I'm Christian Smith. See you next time.